So good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. Thanks for joining us for our presentation on some of the new Sonarqube 5.4 features. The one we're going to talk about today is the action plans. So what are we talking about with an action plan? So an action plan is something that's built into the new Sonar 5.4 that allows you to basically organize your remediation of your technical debt. So what we're doing with our static code analysis tool Sonar is we're running over our code, doing an analysis, and then reporting on issues. So violations of where we've deviated from our coding standards or potentially found a bug. So we might be doing project work. What we might be doing is, as we develop code and as we modify existing functionality, we might be looking at our Sonar analysis and picking and choosing pieces of code to remediate or update during our day-to-day check-ins, which is well and good. So basically, as we look at code, or if we're touching code, we're improving code as we go. So what you can do with Sonar action plans is we're looking at ways or to plan and organize the additional remediation you might want to do in your code base where it doesn't take into account any particular project. So we might be talking about just a general remediation of code quality. So it might be something to do with security or something that's not obvious. So, for example, what you might want to look at is if we talk about Message Broker, which is the product that we sell, the Sonarqube product we sell, we might decide that we want to focus on say unused variables and dead code, and we might decide that we can sell the business on assigning our developers some additional time for this, because as well as improving the quality of our code base and removing potentially some technical debt and making our code clear and giving our code more clarity, it also helps improve performance by minimizing the amount of variables we're actually using, or not using variables that actually aren't being useful to us. We're actually reducing the amount of memory and the amount of allocation and the amount of and improving the number of executions we can actually load up at any given time, so hopefully improving our throughput ever so slightly. So we'll just do in our demonstration, we'll just quickly show what an action plan looks like. So here's an analysis I've run previously, and then what I've done here is in this case I'm looking at a dashboard, and the dashboard I'm looking at issues. So here's some previous action plans I've created, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a new action plan based on our analysis. So what I can do as an administrator, I can go into administration, and I can go to action plans. And so we can see here our action plans we've already developed. So what we might do is we might say action plan name, and we can give it a date of when we're expecting to complete our work. So we can give ourselves a week or so to work on this, and we have an action plan. What we can see here is there's no issues linked to that plan. So that's the first step. We've developed the scope for our action plan, what we intend to develop, or how we intend to improve our code, and when we're intending to do it by. The next step would actually to go through our issues and have a look at our issues and see which ones we might want to assign to action plan. So essentially put into our scope of work. So what I can do here is I can have a look at what issues we have outstanding. So I can do a filter my issues by, say, unused variables. So we can say here we've got a whole bunch of unused variables in our code. And so what we can do is essentially we can pick one, for example. Let's go here. So we can see here we've got some pretty funny looking code. In the case here we've got an unused variable at the end. So what we might do is, because we decide this is something worthwhile fixing, we'll leave it as an open issue, so we can we'll leave it as open, confirm it, So basically what we're doing is we're confirming it's a real issue rather than potential issue. We can change the priority if we'd like, major. And because we're actually assigning it to an action plan, we can pick the action plan we're going to do. We're going to fix it in. And if we choose to, we can actually pick someone to fix it. So what we might do is just user Richard. So now what we've done is we've picked an issue and said we're going to include that in a particular release. Now if we return to our list, we can pick another issue, another unused variable. Pick another unused variable, in this case, unused variable passing the parameter, and we're not sure about this one, so we actually might, what we can actually do is we could pick someone we could assign to someone now. Say this is something someone needs to fix now, or we could plan it for a future release. So we might actually pick this a slightly different action plan because this might be something that we want to investigate more earlier or as part of a different piece of work, because there might be more of a logical issue about how the procedure is created, not just the fact we've got an extra variable. So it might be a bit more remediation work to actually go and remove a parameter than just remove a line of SQL. So what we've done here is we've then marked the issue as confirm that it's something we want to do and fix in our code. We've assigned it to someone and we'll put it into a particular potential release or potential block of work. What that means now is if for example, I log out of Sonarqube and I, as the administrator, and I log in as Richard, who's the user I just assigned to that action plan, I can go in and I can look at the report. I can look at the dashboard, and I can see there's two action plans with a number of unresolved issues. If we have a look here, we can see an action. We can see that unresolved issue, and I can also filter issues by who they're assigned to, and I can pick all the ones assigned to me, where I can see one's in one action plan, one's in the other action plan, or also I can pick the action plan I'm interested in. I can pick the action plan where I'm designated to be working on, so I can pick the action plan for the demo. It gives me a summary of summary of the issues, and then I can also say assignee as well. And I'm going to pick all the issues assigned just to me for that one action plan. So there I can see the piece of work that someone's designated for me to work on for this particular cycle, this particular iteration, what it is. And I can see here that I've already marked as done. I've done that in a previous check-in. Now that's one use of creating action plans for meeting any issues. There's another additional use case which may or may not be useful for people, depending on how you like to work, but it's worth mentioning because it is a feature that may or may not be useful. People make up a decision on. They've also got the ability to create what we call manual issues. So what you could, in theory, if you were unable to go with a tool such as a review board or Crucible for organizing your code reviews, or you decide that you want to organize them in Sonar themselves, what you could do in theory is, we'll just log out here. We'll log in here as admin. What we can do in theory is create a is for a project, we can create an action plan, and we can base our action plan on, say, doing a code review. In this case, what we're doing, I'll give a developer a week to work on it. So the difference here is what we're doing is we're not picking issues that Sonar has presented to us. What we're going to do is add issues to our code review action plan that aren't designated or aren't being created by Sonar on the fly. So if we go to browse our code, and what we could be doing is looking at code checked in by different people. If that's how you want to work on your code, but what we'll say here, might be able to, we'll just pick a file, and what we might decide is that we don't like this particular piece of comment that we've come across, or we thought that you should have added more details to the comment because they've changed the functionality, and what we can do is create a manual issue or a manual review item and put a comment in there. It no longer reflects the functions, the procedures function. So what we've got is now is created an issue that will basically show up within the Sonarqube dashboard and show up in reporting. And then, as I said, we're looking to make that part of, say, our code review. And then we can assign it to Mary and confirm it as an issue. So now, if we go to our report of issues, we can say pick new issues. We can look for the new issues. Oops. Nope. So let's see if we can pick our new issues. Okay. Assign. So what we're looking at there is our existing issues, and then what we can do is we can look at our action plan. So we might just need to there we go, it's just been updated. Look at our code review. Oops. Look at our filtered by our code review action plan, and we can see our newly created issue, which for some reason is not being assigned to Mary, which is now assigned to Mary. And then change that to Mary. And we can see here we've got our new issue, which we can, which has been flagged in our code review, which we can now look to see what Mary will do with it. Mary can comment on it. It's okay. And then what she can do is she can comment on it, or I can comment it, and then I can mark it as resolved. So we're not going to fix that anymore. Mary can come back and make comments on the block. Then we can go back to our dashboard, and we can see our action plans. And we can see for our code review, we've got one issue. and our one issue has been resolved. So for our code, for our code review action plan, it's all green. We've got no outstanding issues. As administrator, I can go in and I can administer my action plan, and I can now close my review. So now it's closed. So in theory, when we now go to our dashboard, we can see there's actually that particular action plan for that review has disappeared. So that's so that's the new Sonarqube action plan functionality. So we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. I sort of assigned thought this would be running for about 25 minutes, but yeah, we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So I'll just quickly stop off to see if anyone has any questions. See if anyone has any questions. If no one has any questions, I'll let everyone get on with their day. So it doesn't sound like anyone has any questions. So just if you do, please feel free to follow up with me via email or via our website, on our website, www.bittercodingtools.com. Please feel free to contact me via the contact page. Otherwise, email me at richard@bittercodingtools.com. Now, if there's anything I can help with. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation on some of the new Sonarqube functions and functionality, and I hope that you find it at least interesting. I find it applicable to hopefully in some way improve your daily work life. I bid you farewell and enjoy the rest of your morning or evening, depending where you are. Thanks for joining us. Bye.